Hi, Meredith. It's a pleasure to have you here to share your journey of healing from the inside out. Thank you so much for the ones who are new to my channel or podcast. My name is Natalia. I'm a functional medicine nutritionist. And Meredith is here because she worked with me a little bit ago and she wants to share her story. So, Meredith, let's start with what was the state of your overall health, digestive health, body composition, mindset before you found me?
So I knew Natalia from the tennis court, and I actually heard about a success story from a fellow tennis player. She told me how much better she was feeling because she was under Natalia's care. So I was going through, my father had just died, and I was grieving, and through that grief and other things, I was having a lot of it was a combination of diet and grief, but I had eczema all over my skin. I had cold sores. I had hemorrhoids. I had toxic feeling, bloating, and just felt really, really bad. And I was trying to get better mentally and also improve my physical health. So I reached out to Natalia and we started a regimen which was now remind me, I know it's repair, repair, restore, revive, or what
Yeah,
is
so
yeah.
when you came to me, we did an assessment, a root cause
Oh
assessment,
yes. Oh yes.
to
We
begin
did
with.
an assessment.
Yeah, to see what was driving all these symptoms because you had the symptoms of mind and the body, and I just wanted to really get make sure that I addressed everything. So in the assessment is where you decided to do some testing, and the testing was the DNA microbiome. And that is what you're referring to in terms of the protocol, where we found out that you had a bacteria that was not making you feel well at all. It's where also we found out that there was leaky gut, and that is intestinal permeability. So, for people who don't know, that is when the intestine is supposed to be nice and tight, but the junctions just get permeable, so you probably were not absorbing, you were fatigued. I remember you felt brain fogged. So we did the removal of the bacteria, the removal of any of the foods that were making you feeling inflamed and toxic and just not good in your own body. We replaced, I think digestive enzymes. I think that's what came up in your results. And any digestive secretions that needed and nutrients for your
Nutrient.
specific how you were feeling, for the mind component, for the better well-being. And the repopulate was bringing the good bugs back in, and then the repair of the leaky gut. So that was the whole 5R. Yes, that's what you were talking about.
Yes, yes. And the test results that came back were a little shocking how severe it was, but in a way I was glad to know that, right? And then we started on a regimen, or I would say a diet protocol, kiwi, pear, apple. That's my favorite, right? That really, really helps. And then some supplements. And I would say within 3 weeks, no more cold sores, which was a huge problem, right? To always have cold sores. I always had them. And then the hemorrhoids went away. That was huge. And then over time, I've lost it's been a year, about 10 pounds.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So,
But that wasn't the goal, really, but it sure is nice. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of people who find me that they wanted to lose weight or that they have been kind of stuck at a certain weight, I always tell them the meat suit is the reflection of the inner health world, and like inner
Oh,
health,
that's interesting.
inner health and digestive inner health. And once you got healthier, I think in all areas, that's when the weight actually came off, and we repaired your gut,
I
because
will say I didn't realize until this how important gut health was. I was always been concentrating on mu being muscular and all these different things, but not really my gut health. And that is the center to everything, everything. As far as I'm concerned, as far as I see it now through Natalia's help.
Yeah, it's one of the main root causes for people not feeling well, for people not losing weight, for people feeling inflamed and even developing autoimmune disease. So I'm glad that we did that test so that we could find out what was going inside of you and so that you could feel better by you following the very specific diet with very specific foods and also pretty much repairing and resetting your gut.
Right. That's funny you say autoimmune because I have Raynaud's, which is an autoimmune disease where your hands and feet get really cold. And I still have it, but it's much less. But I didn't even realize that until it's much less. I used to not be able to go into the grocery store without my hands, just becoming frozen
Right.
because it is an autoimmune disease, but it has to do with circulatory, but that it must be helping that as well because it's definitely better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. There's a lot of studies in order for me to maintain the alphabet behind my name, like all my credential, being board certified in functional medicine, registered dietitian, and all these letters. I have to do a lot of research, and that research shows that intestinal permeability, which is leaky gut, is the doorway to autoimmune disease and cancer. So, once we kind of stop that, it makes sense that the symptoms are less.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. And tell me, what did you learn? What were the things that you really learned and mastered when we worked together?
I guess having a good routine is very important to stay consistent. And again, like I said, how important gut health is. I think those are the two big things. And
Okay.
I will say the pear and the apple and the kiwi, that's very interesting. How much when you have that, it satiates you and makes you feel better too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
food can be very therapeutic and also very simple.
Yeah, right. Right. True. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be complex. And if I remember you, I think you did like a 2 or 3 month program. Can you remind me how long you were doing this
I'm
committedly?
still doing it. I'm
Okay.
still doing it. So I still take the vitamins. And so I just I don't take everything every day because there's about 7 or 8 things. I take like three one day, four the other, three one day, four. I've kind of lessened the amount that I take, but I still take everything. And
Oh,
I don't know if I still need to. I just find that
there's some things that are
yeah.
always gonna be very, very, very helpful. So
Okay.
if you continue taking it the way that it was outlined, then it's only supporting you. So
Supporting me, right? Because a lot of it has prebiotic, probiotic, the protein. What what is it protein or and collagen? There's a collagen supplement
yes,
that's
that collagen was
helpful.
very, very,
Peptides. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, very crucial for the healing of the gut. But that very specific one was very, very, very unique to you, to what you had going on. So I'm glad. I'm glad that
And
you're.
I don't eat a lot, so I mean, I just don't. So it also ensures me that if I don't eat enough food, I'm still getting supplements. I just don't, I'm not that hungry all the time, you know. Yeah.
Protein is huge to get. So if you're really focusing on the nutrients that you need, at least protein, we're made out of protein. Our brain, neurotransmitters, hormones, like everything requires protein. So you prioritizing that and also the prebiotic foods. I know you're so busy from appointment to appointment, so I know it can be challenging, but at least you mastered and know which foods are kind of life-saving for you.
What do you think, Natalia, about this supplement NAD? What do you think about that? Is that a real something that people need? Or do you think it's a fad? Have you heard of that supplement?
A little bit. It's mostly a fad. It's quite advertised, so I'm not a fan of it because I've looked at the ingredients and it's
Mhm.
not something that I look at ingredients. I'm very picky with supplements, and whenever I put anybody on a protocol, I make sure that those ingredients are very clean. And actually, I had a client on Monday asking me about it, and we'll look at the ingredients, and it's just really not what you want. I had another client whose immune system was a wreck and the pharmacist recommended immunoglobulins. And when I asked her to look at the inactive ingredients of that, it was polysorbate 80, which is linked to irritable bowel disease.
Oh.
So she thought, and then, just like there's a lot of marketing around supplements that just really don't um do they say they do something, but they also do something else if they're not clean and quality. And me in supplements, I'm very picky and
Mhm.
assure that they're super quality, that are even batch tested so that you don't
Mhm.
get the best from the best. So yeah, well, thank you for sharing your story. To sum it up, tell me, what is something that you appreciate the most about me and our work together?
Um, I really appreciate that you analyzed me as an individual, not just the labs that came back, but also who I was, my lifestyle, what was going on in my life. And we also worked out a program that worked for me because I had a certain budget, and that's always a component of this, right?
Right.
And so you helped me find my goals in the money that I could spend at that time. So I really appreciate that. That's very important, right? Or I could have not done it,
Right.
and I would have been that would be bad that I didn't do this.
Yeah,
So
I
I
always tell
appreciate that.
people when it comes to testing, and even if you want to just do one test, just do one test and do that protocol because you will find feeling yourself even maybe 50% better, for some people, even 70% better. Some people
Mhm,
want to
mhm.
do all the tests and see if they have autoimmune disease in development, if they have, cellular damage, or they want to look at their hormones, but those that testing isn't cheap. So, but at least you started with a very important one that really turned your life around.
Yes, yes.
Good,
I'm
good.
very thankful. And I reached out to Natalia because I wanted to tell everybody about this. I have a couple friends that they're having gut problems, and I keep saying, call her, call her, call her. And I don't know why people are resistant because you shouldn't be. You
Well,
should
they'll be
be,
ready when they'll be ready,
yeah,
They will really be ready. People are ready when they're ready to
yeah,
heal and
to heal. Yeah.
when they're ready to take accountability of many years or of unresolved trauma, or like it was in your case, or just when they're ready to look deep at themselves. Or
Mhm.
sometimes people take action when the pain is just unbearable. So
Yeah.
people are ready when they are ready, but in the meantime, they know I'm here. I appreciate you for telling them your story, and this will be out in the world so that people can watch it and so
Right.
that they can listen to your story and to know that healing is possible because the body has the ability to heal. I'm just someone who has the knowledge, who has about 15 years of experience, almost 16, and who's helped thousands of people, and that's my purpose, to help.
You're quite an individual. Thank you.